Hello everyone, Bhavya this side. So previously we had discussed about the fundamentals like the intro part of Python, and now today we are going to discuss data types as well as variables, more of variables, and we will see some fundamentals part. Okay. So if you haven't seen that video, that yesterday videos, then you can search for the channel name, that is G2 Jaswal. Okay. So from here you have to go to live, and then there's will be a channel like a video day one. Okay, you have to click on here, and then from here you can see the day one live video. I mean, it was live previously, like yesterday. Okay, so from here in this video we have discussed about the intro part of Python, like how to use Python, like how to install it, and then how to install the IDE of Python, as well as where, like why we use Python, and where we can use Python. We can use Python, like who can enroll in the course of Python, and how many types of Python we have, Python core and advanced. So in that session we have discussed it. So now today we will discuss data types as well as variables. So yesterday we had seen the variables rules, that is known as naming conventions. Okay. So naming conventions are like rules of naming a variable. Like you cannot like put any name to a variable. You cannot give any name to a variable. So we have discussed that. Let's revise that. First rule is reserved words are not allowed. Second, special characters are not allowed. Okay. And special characters are like exclamation mark, at the rate, hash, dollar, etc. etc. These are the special characters. They are not allowed inside the variable. Third is the variable name should not start with a number. So the variable name should not start with a number. Fourth, but you can like use number in the middle and in the last. Fourth spaces are not allowed. And fifth, always name the variable according to the value. Okay, so these are the naming conventions, like rules of naming a variable that we have discussed yesterday. So now we will discuss data types. What are data types? So basically, data types are the value that you are storing inside any variable. Just okay, so we can write data types are the values that you are storing inside the variable. Okay, so basically, data types are the values that you are storing inside the variable. Let's say A is equal to B is equal to 10.2. So here A is an integer value and 10.2 is a float value. So these are the data types. Now we have many types of data types in Python. First we have string. Okay, so what are strings? Any character or group of characters, we can put it. Any character or group of characters that are enclosed inside single, double, and triple quotations. Okay, so these are the strings. For example, A is equal to hello world, just strings. So hello world, or we can say that hello world, or else we can say that hello world. Okay, so these are the strings. Any character, like or group of characters that are enclosed inside single quotations, double quotations, and triple quotations. Now, these are the alphabets basically. Now, any character, like even number, though, they are also the characters. Now, they are strings, not number. This is number for us, but they are string in the perspective or in the eyes of the Python interpreter. Okay, so we have first string and then we have numbers. Inside number, we have three types of data types further. Like we have int, which is known as integer, short for int, float, no short form, just float, and complex, no short form, just complex. Okay, so we can write complex numbers, we can write float numbers, as well as we can write integer numbers. Okay, now what are integer numbers? Non-decimal numbers are known as integer numbers. Simple, like any number other than decimal numbers. Float numbers, we can write here non-decimal numbers. Float numbers, we have so these are the floating point number, which are decimal numbers. So every decimal numbers are the part of the float numbers. Then we have complex numbers. Inside complex number, it is like the combination of real and imaginary number. For example, 1 E. So 1 is a real number and E is an imaginary number. Okay, so these are the numbers. Then we have Boolean, which is known as Boolean value, short for Boolean. Okay, Boolean. In this we have true. In this we have false. Only two values, true and false. Okay, so we have true and we false. Yes or no? Basically true or false. Okay, and whenever you are going to use the Boolean values inside of Python, you have to put true of T capital and false of F capital. Okay, always use uppercase for T or F. Okay, you cannot put true like this because T is in lowercase. So remember, whenever you are using the Boolean values inside Python, you have to put true like this. Okay, T should be capital. Same as false should be kept in uppercase. Okay. So these are the very basics data types. So let's see the practical. So I'm making a file here. Yeah. File.py. Yes. Okay, no. Let's change the name. File. Let's say data types.py. Okay. So open this file in the VS Code. Now here. So we have strings. So we have strings. In the numbers, we have integer values. We have float values, and then we have complex values, as well as we have boolean values. So for the strings, create a variable. Let's say a, or we can put first underscore name. Okay, so spaces are not allowed. Remember? No. Here you have to use John. Okay, so John is a string here, and first name is a variable. So we are assigning a name or a value to a variable. So this is known as data type. Okay, this value is known as data type because you are storing a value inside a variable. Okay, so let's print the first underscore name. So run the program. So we have John. Okay, let's do the same for last name. Let's say any last name. Sky. Funny. Okay, so we can put here, we can print the last name. Save it. Okay, so we have done Sky. Okay, now let's merge them together. So first name, comma, last name. Okay, so we are merging them. So we have John and Sky. See, we have a space in between. Okay, so you can merge them together by following the comma, or you can use the plus operator here. Okay, so here we are using plus operator. So print it. John is Sky. So now we don't have any space here. Okay, so basically, this process is known as concatenation. Concatenation. What is concatenation? Concatenation is like merging the two strings together. So we can write here. This is a, which means merging or adding. We can write adding two strings, only strings, not numbers. Two strings together. So we have the first name as John. Okay, it is a string, or Sky, it is also a string. So we are merging them together with the help of a plus operator. And this is known as concatenation. Okay, now what about space? When you run the program, so see, we don't have any space. So you can either put space here and then run it. Okay, so we have John Sky, or you can space here before the Sky, or you can add space here with the plus operator. John Sky. Okay, now you cannot add, like you cannot do like this. You are just using the first name and space for last name. Or here you are spacing. Okay, this is not a valid way, or Python will not add a space here because it is just a space. And this is like Python has no meaning for this empty space. When you run the program, it will select join describe. Okay, so if you want to add space, or if you want to add anything like any letter, any number, you have to use string. Okay, so let's put here space. Only one space. Irrespective of we have many spaces here, just we have one space here. Okay. So John is only one space. And very multiple space here as well. So remove this space here. This one space. Then we have many spaces here. John and Sky. Okay, so this is like you have to put spaces in the quotations also. Okay, you cannot put spaces like this. Okay, this is like Python will not understand this. Okay, so Python can only understand whatever you are writing inside quotations. Okay, suppose you are writing, let's say you are printing something. Print hello world. Okay, so this will throw an error. Like when you run this, we have this error, invalid syntax. Perhaps you forget a comma. So basically, Python will not understand anything like this, like you are writing without quotations. So whatever you are using, whatever you are writing, you have to use the quotations. It is compulsory, either single or double. So we are running this. Hello. Okay. So remember quotations. And when you are using quotations, they are known as the strings. Okay, so basically you are using strings. And string can be enclosed inside single quotations, double quotations, and triple quotations. Then we have numbers. Inside numbers, we have int, means integers values, float numbers, and complex numbers. So let's see the example. Before that, check the type of the variable type of first one. Okay, so this is a type function. Let me write this here. We have a type function. Okay, so type function means it will tell you, we can write Okay, so type function will tell you the type of value you are storing inside any variable. Okay, any variable. So basically we have type function. So type and first name. You have to put a variable name inside that type. Okay, and then run this. So John is a string. When you run this is a string, short for str. Okay, so we can write here str. Okay, so type function is like we tell you the type of value you are storing inside any variable. So we have to type and the type of value you are storing, like the variable name. Okay, so the variable first name is storing the string value, class the string. Okay, now let's create another variable. Let's say num1. Okay, is equal to 10. Num2. Okay, now let's run this. Print num1. Okay, so we're using the print function as well as we are printing num1, num2, and num3. The values of the variables. So the values of num is 10, the value of num2 is 12.3, and the value of num3 is this one, 1 plus 2j. So here 1 is the real number and j is the imaginary number. Okay, so we really use the complex number inside Python. We only use the float as well as the integer in the day-to-day program. So here we have num and num1. See, remember when you're printing the variable name, num1 is a variable and and have the value 10. But and num1 is a variable here. And when you put num1 inside a quotation, as I said, you have to put everything inside quotation. So when you run this inside quotations, see, we have num1 as it is. This means now num1 is a variable string here, not a variable anymore. Okay, so you are printing string, and when you print string, so the string will print as it is. So we are number, not the value of the number, but that is 10. So whenever we have a variable like number is a variable, okay, number is a variable that is holding a value 10, and you are printing the value of the variable that is number 10. Okay. Now suppose there is no variable named number, and that will give you an error because and the error is number is not defined. Let me run it this. See, number is not defined. Did you mean number? No, number only. So name number is not defined. So basically we will write number 12, anything like that. So number, num2, and num3. So remember, whenever you are using the variable, you have to put just like this only, not with inside quotations. Because number is a variable, not a string. And whenever you put a string, okay, then this will become a string and number will print as it is. Okay, even you cannot do like num like this. This is a double quotation, and you are using single quotation here. This will give you an error because Python will not understand this. Okay, what is this? Save the code and then run this. Okay, syntax error. So you have to put the double quotation here. Okay, so this is how you have to do this. Now basically, like number, here we have right quotations, number, and we have to use double quotation only. Like we will use colon, we will use parenthesis, we will use curly braces in the like in the functions, etc. in the loops. But why we are using these colon, parenthesis, like round brackets or curly braces or the quotations inside Python? As you said, as I said, that Python is easy to understand, and still I'm making it complex because this is the syntax of the Python. This is how Python is. Okay, so quotations and colon, like putting the quotations, colons, and the like curly braces is the grammar of Python. Okay, and you have to follow the rules of any language. And that is the this is the grammar of Python. Like whenever you write a sentence, let's say Python. Python is a powerful language. Full stop. Okay, so whenever you write in English, P should be capital, etc. And you use full stop. So this is the grammar of the English, same as where the grammar of the Python. Why fall in the quotations? Why fall in the that columns, round brackets, parentheses, or curly braces, or any type of like special characters. So basically, this is the grammar of Python, and you have to use it. So we have number, number, remove this columns and one this. We have these. Okay. Now let's check the type of value the variable are storing. Type and then number. Same as the type inside number. Type number. Okay. So number. So number is integer, num2 is float, and num3 is complex. When you run the code, we have class int, float, and complex. This is integer value, float value, and complex value. Okay. Now let's see the Boolean values. So let's say anything A, true. Yeah, true. B, print A, and print B, and then print the type of A. Type of A, and print B, type of B. When run this, see we have true and false as it is, and then we have bool and bool. Like true and false are the Boolean values. So here, print A and print B are the variables, like A and B are the variables, and true and false are the Boolean values. That is why we have class bool, like short for bool. Okay. So here when you see when you put T in small and F in small, when you run this, see we have a name error. True is not defined. Did you mean true? Yeah, we mean. Okay. So basically we have to use true like this. T should be capital and F should be in uppercase. Then you can run this. Okay. If you want to use it true, like if you want to use true as true only like small case, then you have to put quotations. Okay, then this will not throw any error. And when you run this, so here, see, true and false are not the Boolean values anymore. They are the strings now. Okay, so true and false are the strings, not the Boolean anymore. So remember when you're putting quotations anywhere, you have to just use print A, like T should be capital and F should be capital. Let's put false here. Okay, now they are the Boolean values. Remember this one. Okay, this is very important. So these are the data types we have. Now we have many data types for the. Okay, so we have the string, numbers, and booleans. Now, next we have list. We have tuples. We have dictionaries, and then we have set. Okay, these are the main data types we have. Basically, they are known as sequential data types because they are in sequence. Okay, so before that, let me show you one more thing. Suppose you are assigning a variable. Let's say A. Let's say num1 is equal to 10. So you are storing 10 inside num1. Let's put another value here, 20. And when you print num1, so this will throw an error. Basically, this is a tuple, not a like, but you cannot put this like this. This is not a string. Now this is a, when you print this, you like type of num1. See, this is a tuple. When because we are storing this is a number basically 10 and 20 is an integer. Like when print num2 is equal to 10 and print type of num. Okay, so this is an int. And basically, if we cannot store multiple values to a single variable like this, basically, because now this becomes a tuple, and tuple is another data type. Okay, now if you want to assign 10 to one variable and 20 to another variable, then you can put num2 here. Okay, now number one, 10 is storing 10 is inside number and 20 is inside variable number 2. And when you print it, remove this line, check it now. This is an integer value now. And when you print the type of number, print the type of num2. This is the integers. Okay. So you have to remember if you are storing different values to a variable, then you have to put the equal number of variable names as well as the equal number of values. Okay, so this is just now. What if you want to store multiple values to a single variable only, like this we are doing num1, or let's say a. Okay, suppose these are three values, and you want to store inside A. Then we have to put another variable name like B and C2. Now apple is inside A, cherry is inside B, and oranges are inside C. So what if we want to use only a single variable and get to define multiple values? And that is why we use list, tuple, dictionary, and set. That is why they are known as sequence data types. Now what are lists? So lists are the, let me draw this here. So basically list underscore one. Okay, you cannot put list as a variable name like list is equal to, this will throw an error because list is a reserved word. So list underscore one, square brackets, and then apple, cherry, oranges, and then print the list underscore one, and then print the type of value. The list one is storing. Okay. See, list one is storing. First, we have the list one as it is, and then we have the type one is list. So this is known as list. So multiple characters like see apple, cherry, and oranges. These are known as elements of the list. So apples are an element, cherry is another element, and oranges is another element. So these are the elements of a list. So anything inside the square brackets are known as list. Okay, like multiple data types you are storing. So these are known as list. Okay. Then we have tuples. We have list and we have tuples underscore one. They are inside round brackets, that is parentheses. Okay, let's put the elements here. When you do this, so first we have the list, second with the tuples, and you can see tuples. Now, what is the difference in list tuples as they are storing the same number of elements inside a single variable? Okay, for example, like basically first point that you can like store any number of elements. Like you can these are elements. We have currently three elements inside list. Like you can like store many elements. Like you can store 100 elements, 1,000 elements, like many elements inside list as well as inside tuple also. But now what is the difference in list and tuple? If you can store any number of elements inside both. So basically for that we will see later. Like basically there's a concept of mutable and immutable. Okay, mutable means changeable. Means you can easily change it. And immutable means unchangeable. Okay, so lists are mutable in nature or tuples are immutable in nature. Okay, so we can write here lists are changeable. Sorry, we can write here mutable. And tuples are immutable in nature. This is only the one difference, like we have many differences in the list and tuple. Okay, this is like the very important in the basic difference. List are immutable means we can change the list and tuples are immutable. Now, what is the means of changing here? See, we have list here the apples, cherry, and oranges inside list. These are the elements. Apple is an element, cherry is an element, oranges is an element. Now you can change the value of the elements. Like you can put you can put grapes in place of apple. You can put cherry, like you can change the cherry value to any other value. You can put numbers in place of oranges. Okay, so you can put like you can change the values of the elements. Okay, you can add many values and you can remove any values. Okay, so we have three factors. We can modify the list, we can add values, and we can remove values. So we can modify, we can add values, and then we can remove values. Add means we can you can add more elements. Like once you have created the list, after that, like if for example, if you have to add multiple values, like more values inside list underscore one, then you can easily add it without touching this list. Okay, like without rendering this list. Once you have created, you can add values, you can even remove the values. Okay, like if you want to remove this, you can easily remove this. Removing doesn't mean that you are removing from here. No. Removing means you are creating another, like you are using the remove method or remove function of the list that we will see later. That is known as list manipulation that we will see later. Okay, so remember, removing doesn't mean that you are removing from here. Anyone can do this. Even you can do this in the table also. But removing means you are using the remove or clear functions of the list. Like once you have created the list, now you have not to touch the list. Just you have created, now you can remove the values, you can add the values, or you can modify the values without touching this list. Okay, this is why lists are immutable in nature. Because they are immutable in nature because you cannot modify it, you cannot add values, you cannot remove values. Like you cannot do anything. Okay, inside tuples you cannot add values, like you cannot add many more values, you cannot remove any values, and you cannot modify any values. That's why we have tuples. Now we have to use list and we have to use tuples that we will see later. Okay. Every data type has its own specific needs. This is list and tuples. Now we have dictionaries. Dictionaries are known as key values pair. Okay, so we can write right here. They are known as key value pairs. And data inside is curly braces. Okay, they are mutable in nature. Yeah, they are mutable in nature. You can add values, you can remove values, you can change the values in the dictionaries. Now, how to create? Let's create a variable dictionary underscore. And then first we have to put key. Let's say A is a key. Name is a key, colon, and the value here. John is a value. Comma. Age. Colon. Value. Okay, so name is a key and John is a value. And they are separated by a comma, colon. So this is first key value pair, means one key value pair. And this is another key value pair, like second key value pair. So you can add many values as you can, like any any pairs, any number of pairs. And key value number one and key value number two are separated by comma. And the key and the value, they are separated by a column. So remember this. Okay, now, so this is a dictionary. When you print a dictionary, they are basically in a JSON format. Okay, dictionary underscore one and print type of dictionary. This. So after running, we have the name and then we will join. This is the dictionary as it is, and then the class is dictionary. This type of dictionary type of data type is dictionary. So this is dictionary. Now we have said. Okay, so dictionary are mutable in nature. Like you can add many values, many pairs. You can remove any number of pair, or you can modify the values of the keys inside dictionary. Now set are both mutable and immutable in nature. How is it possible even? And they are inside curly braces. Now, why set are mutable and immutable both in nature? Why? Let's create a set here. So set underscore one curly braces. Let's say apple. We have cherry, and then oranges. Let's print the set underscore one and print the type of set underscore one. You cannot use set as a variable name because this is a like reserved word of Python. That is why I am putting set underscore one, additional underscore one, tuple underscore one, because you cannot put tuple as it is because it is a reserved word. The naming convention says that you cannot put the variable name as a reserved words. Run this. See, this is the set and this is class set. Now the question is why set is mutable and immutable in nature both? See, apple, cherry, and oranges are the elements of the set. So the elements of the set are immutable in nature, and the set itself is mutable in nature. Let me write it. So elements of the set are immutable in nature. But set itself is mutable in nature. Not name, nature. Okay, means this is the nature of the set. Like now, why it is mutable, immutable, we don't know. Like it is pre-programmed. So set is mutable and immutable because apple, cherry, these are the elements. You cannot change the values of the elements. Like you cannot change the elements value here. Oranges, you cannot change it with another value. Grapes, you cannot change apple value with banana. So these are the elements. You cannot modify the set, but you can add or remove the values. Okay, so we cannot elements of the set are immutable in nature because we can write because they are because you can modify the set elements. Sorry, but you cannot modify. You cannot modify the set elements. Modify means you cannot change the value, and set means here you can because you can add or remove the elements of the set. Okay, so that is why set is mutable and immutable both. Like you cannot change the values, the elements values inside the set, but you can add or you can remove the values. Okay, now see, this is the nature of the set. Set is like fully immutable and immutable. But that is why we have frozen set. Frozen set means it is used to create it is used to create set fully immutable in nature. Okay, that is why we have frozen set. Frozen set is used to create fully a set of fully frozen set underscore one. We have to use a frozen set constructor here. Frozen set and then set underscore one. So frozen set have no like doesn't follow any format like they are inside curly braces. No, they are just frozen set. So frozen set are used to create your set fully immutable. So when you print set underscore two and when you check the type of set, in this so oops, frozen set. Put frozen set underscore one. When you run this, so get frozen set, apple, these are frozen set, and then class frozen set. The frozen set is fully immutable in nature. Like you cannot add values, you cannot remove values, you cannot modify the elements of the set. That is why we have fully like frozen set, which is used to make a set a fully immutable because set is mutable and immutable both. Okay, so that's why we use set like frozen set to make it to create it or to set it fully immutable. Okay. Now some points to remember. You can add any data type inside data types, like we have list underscore one. So here in this we have strings. Okay, so list containing strings. Apple, cherry, oranges are string. Now you can add any values or any data types value. Like you can add integers, you can add float, you can add complex number, even you can add list inside list. You can add dictionary inside list, you can add tuples inside list. Okay. So you can add boolean values. So okay, so this is a list. Inside list we have another list. And inside list we have the numbers integer, and then we have strings. And when you run the program, okay, so we have this list, class list. So this is the flexibility of the programs like data types, list, tuples, dictionary, set, and frozen set. There, they can store any type of data type inside this. So we can put here a point note list. We have tuples, we have dictionaries, and then we have set. We can mention frozen set, but okay. List, tuple, dictionary, set are can store any data type values. Okay, whether it is int, float, dictionary, or complex or boolean values. Same as with the tuples, same as with dictionaries, same as with set. Our dictionary can store dictionary also. Our tuple can store tuple also. Our tuple can store dictionary also. Okay, so you can store any type of data type inside list, tuples, dictionary, and set because they are flexible in nature. Now dictionaries are mutable in nature, frozen set are immutable, and set are immutable both. So they are immutable in nature. Okay, so that's enough for today. We have discussed all the data types, like we have list, tuples, dictionary, set, frozen set, integer, and float, complex, and strings. Okay, so these are the most important, and these are the only data types in Python. Okay. Now, if you want to see the course content of the Python, like what are the modules we are going to cover, then you can go to JNtech Networks, the official website. From here, you can click on the Python. Scroll down. Here you can see all the modules that we are going to cover in the upcoming sessions. Okay, like the core Python and advanced Python. Then we have the fee structure here listed here and the upcoming batches and the duration of the courses. You can see from here. And still, if you have any inquiry, you can call on this number. Both the numbers are available, or you can WhatsApp, or you can mail on the number, or you can fill the query form and click on submit. Okay. So if you have any queries or if you have any doubt or a technical doubt, you can comment. Okay, so I will answer that.